All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Legend of the Galactic Heroes, episode 94.
Yeah.
And
Civil
now,
War.
Ruenthal's end is near,
Mm-hmm.
but he's doing it his way.
And he faces the final curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not really.
Not really. I mean, really, he could be, depending on what Julian decides to do.
Depending also on what Reinhard decides to do.
That's
once
true.
he gets back, because he is effectively gonna get back like pretty soon. But also, it depends on what Mittermeier's gonna do.
Uh-huh.
And then what Oberstein does.
Will
whole
someone
cast of characters is-
please hang Lang on his tie?
Well, I mean, let's be real. By the end of this story, Lang will hang himself.
But
they'll literally coin the phrase like he langed himself. It's like,
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
man, what a bitch, you know? It's just like
it became a term synonymous with, like self-sabotage in the centuries to come.
indeed.
Lang himself. Yeah.
Oberstein just like, what an incompetent fool.
But the fact that he was able to have that disgusting lip-licking smile at Ruenthal's decision, I don't like it.
Yep.
I don't like it at all.
Yep.
And damn it, I still am holding out hope for Ruenthal, our boy, even though it's probably just me huffing copium at this point.
Yeah, probably.
You could Ruenthal.
You could have some peace.
You could have a family.
Well,
You did have a family.
He does have a family.
Yeah.
He literally.
Well, no, I know, but
literally birthed.
but
Not him birthing.
But there's more than family.
What do you think? What do you think Mittermeier is?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. All right. No, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone. Now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below. Then come back here for the discussion. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, we've got ourselves a civil war set up here.
Yeah.
Ruenthal did make a very impersonal declaration as if he was a third party addressing the entire empire as if he was not a part of it. Yeah.
Well, and yet
exciting.
also doing this for the sake of it, which is a great way to basically
Yeah.
just, if you're going to rebel, right, and you
Yeah.
have your reasons for rebelling, make them known so that way you can hopefully divide the enemy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's the kind of thing that works for him if he's suing for peace and if he's going for conflict. He wins either way here. It's a really smart move because regardless of whether or not, Reinhard loses anything serious in the infrastructure of his personnel, it doesn't really matter. The point is that the people are going to see how Reinhard responds to it, and then Ruenthal wins accordingly, no matter what. Because in this case here, Reinhard did actually follow through with parts of what was done here. This was probably the one way in which he lost the least, because Lang is a dirty scumbag.
Yep. He needed to go.
And he's easily
Should've been gone
replaceable.
a long time ago. Yeah.
Easily
Yep.
replaceable. Oberstein didn't need him.
Nope.
The Empire didn't need him.
Like that was so satisfying to just see Oberstein's deadpan face as Lang is just going on and on. And he's just thinking, "You done yet?
Yep.
You done?"
You know what Oberstein? I keep saying this, but Oberstein reminds me of a whale shark. Just a big shark that just sits there and is just like, really? You think that you?
I don't have a bone to pick. I'm just.
Yeah. And this is some yapping guppy fish just coming in. Blub, 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 blub,
Look at
blub,
how
blub,
big
blub,
I
blub,
am.
blub. And he's just like, please, Lang, shut the fuck up.
Right. Yeah. Like it reminds me of that line from Sherlock of the "Stop talking. You lower the IQ of everyone in the room for having had to listen to you." Like it's the fact that we got this and that Lang was effectively removed this episode was very satisfying.
Oh, he was. It just happened off screen because no one cares.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's not big enough to be worth it, right?
Yep.
You
get more screen time to showing Mittermeier staring you down the barrel
exactly.
of a gun.
Yep. Yep.
Because he's so close to just popping your head off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I am really glad that Kessler came along and stopped Mittermeier from doing that because Mittermeier, you're too good a boy to sully your hands with this piece of shit. Like,
what is it with all the remaining admirals really on Reinhard's side being just such good boys, basically?
Well,
we have Mittermeier the wolf. We have Kessler the canine unit.
Right, yeah.
And then we
German
have
Shepherd.
Mueller, who's like, Rottweiler, big, thick, Jowl's boy, just like,
Right.
no one touches, master, but I'm ready to be wholesome.
Of the top people, basically in Reinhardt's like retinue right now, they're all either dogs or specifically have been pointed out to have a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even Bittenfeld is a dog in a way, you know. Like yes, he will absolutely chase that bone that you throw, even if you didn't throw it. Like
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so, okay, Ruhenthal. I like that he wasn't given as much focus here because he had gotten plenty of time in episodes.
Sure.
But giving Reinhard and Mittermeier some really good long conversations.
Yeah.
Well, one between each other, but then two between other key characters. So between each other,
that had to happen. You know?
Yeah, but I really respect that. Not only did it happen, but the way in which they, I would say, handled it in general. One of the things that's very, very tricky to have, I would say, in this situation is where you have division in your cast of characters.
Right.
Even though we have the military, hierarchy and all that. The idea that all of them seem to be acting with competence in this moment is a very good testament to the writing.
Yes.
Because I believe Ruhenthal's actions. The idea, though, that these characters are incredulous about the supposition that Ruhenthal did this, and yet still they know they have to respond in a specific way.
Yeah.
Reinhardt's like, well, we've got to respond with power. This was an attack on my rule.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not Ruhenthal actively did it.
Exactly.
He took advantage of it and didn't do anything.
Yep. And it was also an attack on my life. Oh, and it was also an attack on my pride,
which is most loyal personnel in Lutz, who's dead, and Ruhenthal hasn't said anything.
Nope. So it's like there's some. This is a complicated situation, right? And what I love about that conversation between Mittermeier and Reinhard, probably the most, even though there's so many things I love about it, is that it would be very easy for in a story with this many characters for it to feel like, whoa, hold on, we don't necessarily want to have conversations where we get into the details of a potential idea of like, hey, this is how you could deal with Ruhenthal, if that idea isn't going to end up happening, because that's a lot of screen time for this show with a large cast of characters. But what it does is it shows, one, how delicate the situation is, but two, how important it is to Mittermeier that we have to find literally anything to get Ruhenthal back with us, right? Because we cannot do this, right? And not just because of the friendship, but also because of the peace that we've established, right? You go into civil war now, that's all kinds of horrible, right?
Yeah, it won't just end with the idea that, oh, you crush Ruhenthal, you kill him, you end this fight.
What's that going to do to your subordinates?
Yeah, exactly.
They might think they're on a sinking ship all of a sudden, and that everyone has to fend for himself. Like
it's a really scary time, not just for the Empire, but for Mittermeier, I would say specifically, because he still sees this in a lot of ways as a setup that Oberstein and Lang pushed Ruhenthal into. We know for a fact that, well, no, we don't know for a fact. We know most likely Oberstein has no interest or desire or anything to do with this.
Yep. He might not like Ruhenthal and, think, oh, yeah, if he were to disappear, that would be kind of helpful. But,
But still, the odds are astronomically in favor of the idea that Oberstein does not want this to happen.
Right, because that's civil war. He doesn't want civil war. The reason why I didn't like Ruhenthal is because he thought that Ruhenthal would cause a civil war. If anything, his suspicions might feel vindicated and confirmed now, but he does not want this to happen.
And also, Oberstein is one of the most competent people in the Empire in general, thus he has his position. But then he hears wait a minute, the desire that he has is to have Lang and I get like demoted or something.
like if anything, like
let's go meet him. Let's go right now.
Right.
I don't even care if I potentially get my life threatened.
Yeah.
I'll become his prisoner. Like,
sure.
Like, will that make you stop?
Right.
I love the idea that Oberstein's like, get your bags ready, Lang. We're going.
Yeah. That hasn't even been brought up by Reinhard or anybody. Like, yeah.
Put your balls where your words are, basically.
Right.
Like get your sorry ass into the ship with me. We're going. And he's like, I will die. Oh, are you sure about that? Then you definitely need to get in the ship with me.
Like Lang is just like stroking his own dick basically as he walks into Oberstein's office. Oberstein pulls out some garlic presses. He's like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. and Lang's like, wait, what? And Oberstein's like, what? What are you talking about? It's fine, you know, like.
You don't need these, right?
Yeah, it's nothing's gonna happen, but we just need to, you know, like we just need to. Do you have a level head? Can you be calm and collected in that kind of situation? You know, I can.
I love the idea though that Oberstein doing this might not even be what Reinhard wants though.
Yeah,
because this is the thing that's weird. Oberstein seemed to be ready to do this quickly and without communicating with Reinhard. Now, what leads me to think that he's doing this is that he's, well, obviously going to get denied by Reinhard. But we didn't follow up with that plot line other than having Fellner go in and join Oberstein once Lang had left.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the confrontation with Mittermeier and Lang happened.
Right.
So, with Lang being arrested now, what does Oberstein do?
I don't know. I feel like him bringing that up was kind of like his usual thing of like, I try and determine what the Kaiser will need, what Mein Kaiser will need before he needs it, before he knows he needs it, you know, and get that ready, right? It's the not drinking wine because he knows that Reinhard will call him back, you know, to talk to him again, you know, and then he's like, all right, yeah, and then he goes back, he's like, okay, so here we go, you know, and this is the situation, I was ready for this, right? He's incredibly competent that way.
Incredibly good. Oh my gosh.
So, like, I feel like that's maybe his thing of, if I have to be the sort of sacrificial lamb, then I will be ready to do it. And when I meet Ruenthal, maybe then we can also have a candid conversation of, I always knew that you would try and do something like this. I always knew you would try and do something like this. Wait, I didn't cause this to happen. Hold on. Wait. You know.
The Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
But wait, you didn't either? Wait.
And Lang's arrested? Wait, so theoretically, you know, I could come back. Well, hold on. You've done some shady shit since then, you know.
And also, we really don't like each other.
No, we
really
don't.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like the thing of the...
You wouldn't kill me in front of my dog, would you? It's like, no, of course not.
Oh, you have a dog? Oh, okay. No,
you're a father, then. You need...
Oh, God. Yeah, I respect that. But like... Also, if they did manage to ever agree on something, that's where you know that you need to listen to them. Because if those two agree on something, then that means like they did literally everything they could to not agree, and they're like, "Yep, nope, this is what it is." Yeah. So
exactly. Okay, but then within the conversation of Mittermeier and Reinhardt, you can very, very easily tell that Mittermeier is so distraught by the situation that he's being forced into, that he is kind of grasping at straws.
Yep.
Now,
and Reinhard knows that.
He's right, but the idea that he's like begging, like, no, I will quit my position.
Yep.
I will absolutely fall on my own sword for you to only just consider a way to get him back. I love the way that's also describing Ruenthal as a retainer. One of the things that's kind of fun to be reminded of is that this whole rule of the Lohengram dynasty kind of came out of a pseudo monarchy of sorts, you know, like very similar to that. And the idea that a retainer, you know, someone who is your not your servant, but someone who's like your vassal almost.
Right, on call, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're there for me if I ever need them. And it's like, you could lose them forever here.
Right. The fact that someone would even be be so trusting and have such belief and confidence in another person that they would be willing to do that. Not just for the selfish, like, I'm going to ascend through the ranks, so yeah, I'll be your bitch for now kind of a thing. Yeah. But really be like, I will follow you to the ends of the universe, right? Yep. That's
who all these men are.
That's who all these men are.
Yep.
That does not come cheap, and that is not something to be taken lightly.
Right.
Especially with the caliber that these dudes are.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if Ruental was in open rebellion from the get-go, like because he might be right now. Like in essence, he kind of is right now.
Yep.
Like he's needing to play the part basically because this is his best shot, and there might not be any other scenario out of this. But from Mittermeier's perspective, he's like, no. Like this is an investment that you don't want to throw away. In fact, like you might not even realize the level of investment that you're throwing away. And I will try to make you see that by letting you know that I don't think that either like myself or Oberstein compares. So we will both basically take this loss here. If you at least just give us a chance to try and get him back. And I love the way he almost speaks for Oberstein in this regard, because he doesn't like Oberstein either.
But he knows him.
But he knows Oberstein.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that in some ways he understands Oberstein and still dislikes him.
Right, because they're completely different people.
Completely different types of people.
Like, for as characters that are opposites in this series.
That are like main characters.
That are like main characters. Oberstein and Mittermeier are about as opposite as you can get. Maybe if you brought Julian into play, then you could get someone that's more opposite.
Julian's really shrewd.
But maybe.
No, I think Julian is closer to Oberstein than Mittermeier is to Oberstein.
Yeah.
By like a lot.
Just being around Yang will do that to you.
Yeah, he's become a cunning little shrew, basically. Yeah.
But, so
yeah, I know.
I am so worried.
Where we are.
Everything that happened in this episode just was like putting me on pins and needles. Like, because there's the whole idea of, okay, yeah, could they actually get Ruental back? Because I want that to happen. I want that to happen so bad. Probably not. No. The whole situation with Lang and everything, that also had excitement that came with it. But then Mittermeier potentially jeopardizing himself with his conversation with Reinhard, with going after Lang, like all these other things. And then there's the whole situation with Mariendorf.
Yeah. She's pregnant.
Of
course she
is. And she's keeping it from Reinhard, which makes sense.
But still.
From a certain point of view.
Yeah.
But at the same time.
Oh, boy.
Oh, shit. And then there's just all the other stuff going on. Yeah, they're moving out. They're gonna do battle.
And Wallen and Mittermeier are going to form a 40,000 plus ship expedition, which I will just say, is
that's
not
more
enough.
Than Ruental's.
No, it is more, but it is not enough to unequivocally crush Ruental.
Nope.
And let's just be reminded here of something that has been the case since this show's beginning, is that Mittermeier and Ruental are known as the twin stars. You do not separate twins easily.
As far as which one would like, because Mittermeier had his whole doubts of whether or not he could beat Ruental, and bless I forget his name, but but bless his subordinate's name, Bayerlein. Yep. You know, he's like, no, I think you can beat him. And yes, there was a possibility that Mittermeier could beat him, but if he were to do that, he would have to fight dirty, I think. He would have
to crush.
Right.
He would have to go all out, and I know that, millions would die.
Oh, absolutely. But Ruental would have an easier time of doing that than Mittermeier would. Granted, Mittermeier does have a 30% forces advantage, roughly. But still. You must be ruthless, Lord Vader. Like that, and Mittermeier is not the kind of person that I see as ruthless.
Well, no, he can be.
He can be.
We've seen him be ruthless.
He is a doggo, and
he's a wolf. He is not just a basic bitch.
Thank you.
He is the storm wolf, the gale wolf.
Yeah,
the one that comes in with speed, efficiency, and I would use the word ruthless. Tactician, in that all of his ships and the communications between his ships are utilized
very well.
Actually,
this is something that I'm very curious to see. I feel like we have a a kind of like a perfect like team up here. Bittenfeld and Mittermeier, because they're both about being fast and hitting hard. And Bittenfeld usually is that he's too hot-headed, right? Mittermeier is also hot-headed, but
Right.
he doesn't lose composure as much as Bittenfeld does, right? He's still able to like be calculating with things. So if Mittermeier, I feel like Bittenfeld and Mittermeier's like forces would be able to work a lot better in tandem, whereas like the Black Lancers usually just kind of go off on their own and do their own thing and cause a bunch of chaos, right? But like, if it does get to a battle, and I hope it doesn't, I'm curious to see how those two work together.
Yeah, I have actually a weird feeling that they won't work well together
Oh,
because
yeah?
they're both gonna
Like
be
they're too similar, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, Wallen's going to be the saving grace of their trio in that he's going to bring a little bit of
Still water.
well, I would just say just solidarity, just like just a like I don't know what, like a foundation, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Sure.
And then they will spring forth from that. And yet, in a fleet on fleet battle, because we know that after a certain point, the numbers don't really mean anything. Once you get past like 15,000 ships.
Right, if you're not able to actually maneuver as, like, you're not actually maneuvering as a single unit of 42,000 or 33,000 or whatever, right?
It doesn't really matter. It's just down to strategy and tactics. And I would put them at directly even. I'd put them at directly even.
And there's a chance that Mittermeier will balk.
And there's a chance that not only will Mittermeier balk, but there's a chance that if Mittermeier balks, no one can stop Reuenthal.
Yep.
I cannot wait for this to blow up into a bigger conflict where then people at Iserlohn are needed to be tactically inserted into the fight in some kind of a way that involves kind of what Reuenthal sent as an early message of like, hey,
let us through, or don't let them through.
I'm going to have you make a deal to not let them through. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and we don't, and because, naturally it focused on the Empire, right? Not the new land in Iserlohn. We don't know what Julian's decision will be yet.
Yep.
Okay.
It's coming later.
Yep.
But, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if ain't that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.